So imagine buying a movie ticket, $20. You sit down and 30 minutes have passed, and the movie is terrible. The acting is awful, and the story does not make no sense. Like, you're bored. So you have two choices. You either leave or you stay. And most people, they choose to stay. Not because they're enjoying the movie, but because they're already paid for the ticket. And somewhere deep inside, the brain whispers, I've already invested way too much to leave now. You see, psychologists have studied this behavior for decades, and it's called the sunken cost fallacy. The tendency to continue investing simply because we already invested on something like time, money, energy, effort. Logic says those costs are gone, like they can't be recovered. But the human brain doesn't think logically, it thinks emotionally. And nowhere is this bias more expensive than in trading. Because sometimes the hardest trade to exit is not the worst one. It's the one that you've already become attached to. At first, every position is just another probability. An entry, a stop loss, a target. Simple, objective. Then, price moves against you. Nothing unusual, and losses are part of trading. But some things begin to change here, and that's you without realizing it. That the trade stops becoming a trade. It becomes your trade, your idea, your analysis, your prediction, your reputation. Now, closing the position feels so different. It doesn't feel like managing risk, it feels like admitting defeat. And that's the moment psychology quietly replaces probability. And now imagine spending 6 months building a house, right? You poured your time into it, your savings, your weekends, and then an engineer tells you the foundation has a serious structural problem. The logical decision might be starting over, but emotionally, that's almost impossible. Because humans naturally value things that they've already invested in. Not because those things become objectively better, but because they become a part of us. And trading creates the same attachment. The longer you stay in a losing position, the harder it is to leave it. Not because the trade improved, but because your emotional investment grew with it. Honestly, every struggling trader has experienced this one. Like, price approaches the stop loss. The trading plan is clear, right? You exit. Instead, the conversation begins. It's only temporarily. I'll only move it this time. The higher time frames still look good. Or the institutions are probably grabbing liquidity before it goes my way, right? Or I'll give a little bit more room. Notice something here? None of those thoughts are about probability anymore. They're about predicting the investment that you've already made. See, your brain is not trying to maximize future outcomes, it's trying to justify past decisions. And that's a trap. The market only cares about what happens next, but your mind keep arguing about what already happened. And this is why when you go to a casino, like they don't care, right? They don't care if somebody wins. Like, honestly, like, go to any casino, watch the blackjack tables. Some players lose 5 hands in a row and then they double their bet. Why? They not calculating probabilities. They're probably just thinking, I've already lost this much, or maybe I'm due for a win. I need to get it back. You see, the casino loves that mindset because every decision becomes emotional. And markets work the same exact way. And the more emotionally attached you become to a trade, the less objective your decisions become. And objectivity is where consistency lives. Look, one of the most seductive ideas in trading is averaging down. Price drops, and instead of accepting the loss, you buy more because you're so attached to your idea that the price will go your way. And your average price improves, right? And your position gets larger, it feels productive, it feels intelligent. Sometimes it even works. And that's what makes it so dangerous because every time averaging down succeeds, your brain receives powerful reinforcement. You see, holding on was the right decision, right? But success does not always validate the process. Sometimes bad decisions produce good outcomes, and those are the hardest habits to break. Look, professional traders still hope, like we all do. They're just humans. The difference is, hope does not make their decisions. And many struggling traders believe that they still have conviction. But conviction and hope, they're not the same thing. Conviction comes from evidence, and hope comes from emotion. Go ask yourself this simple question. If I weren't already in this trade, right, would I still enter it? You see, that question changes everything because suddenly the past disappears. Only the current information in front of you remains. And most traders already know the answer, like they simply do not want to hear it. Listen, when traders think about losing positions, they usually focus on the money. But money is not the only that's being lost. It's your attention, your confidence, your energy, and your objectivity. You see, every minute spent emotionally managing one bad trade is attention stolen from the next good opportunity. Some traders spend hours or even days thinking about that one losing positions, and often long after they close it. Like the markets have moved on, but their minds didn't. The biggest cost is not always financial. Sometimes it's psychological. So imagine opening a restaurant, right? After 1 year, it's losing money. In 2 years, you're still losing. 3 years, nothing changes. Nothing improves. Somebody asks, why don't you just close it? You answer, because I've already spent it 3 years doing this. You see the problem? Those 3 years, they're gone. Keeping the restaurant open, they will not recover them. It only creates more losses. And trading works exactly the same way. Holding a bad position does not recover the time or money already spent. It simply risks adding more. So one thing separates experienced traders from emotional traders. Professional traders don't ask, how much have I already lost? They ask, what gives me the highest probability from this moment forward? You see the difference here? One question looks backward and the other looks forward. The market does not reward history, your P&L. It rewards your decision right now. Every candle offers a completely new choice, and the market does not care. It doesn't know how. It doesn't care where you entered, your profits and losses. Only you do. And you know what? Sometimes the position is not what you're protecting, right? You're protecting your ego. Because closing that trade means admitting that your analysis was wrong, your prediction failed, or your confidence was misplaced. And that feels so uncomfortable. So instead, you start to protect your identity by protecting the trade. And ironically, the longer you admit that you're wrong, the more expensive being wrong becomes. You see, humility is often cheaper than hope. So listen, let's just backtrack for a bit in the beginning. Think about that terrible movie, right? The moment you walk out, you don't lose $20. You lost those $20 that you already bought the ticket. Walking away simply prevents you from wasting another 90 minutes. And trading is no different. Closing a losing position does not create the loss. It simply acknowledges what already exists. And that's a very incredible freeing realization because once you stop trying to recover the past, you become available for the future. Look, one of the healthiest habits a trader can develop is pretending every open positions belong to someone else. Like imagine another trader handing you their account, right? And they ask, would you keep this trade open? And you probably answer, very objectively, because there was no emotions, no attachment, no history. Why? Because it's not your investment. You didn't put time into making that trade. The challenge is treating your own positions with the same level of honesty. Like every candle, ask the same question. If I wasn't in this trade already, what would I do? The answer to that question is usually the right one. So here's the conclusion. The market does not care how long you've held the position, and it does not care how much research you did, and it doesn't care how convinced you were yesterday that a certain price will go a certain way. The next candle, they have no memory, and perhaps that's the lesson every trader eventually learns. The past has value, yes, only if it teaches you something, but not if it traps you, because every dollar, every hour, every losing trade is already gone. The only thing that still belongs to you is your next decision. And the trader who becomes consistently profitable, they're not the ones who never makes mistakes. They're the ones who refuse to let yesterday's investment control today's judgment. And because like look, the market has never asked you to defend your past. It only asks you to make the best decision with the information that you have right now. Because in the end, the strongest traders, they're not the ones who hold on the longest. They're the ones who know exactly when to let go. So master your mind, master the market. This is NQ State of Mind. If you like this video or you think this video helped you out in any way, shape, or form, please like, comment, and subscribe. I promise you that I will respond to you. I hope you have a beautiful day today, a beautiful trading day. All right, we'll see you in the next trading video.